channel. I have a really quick review on the Urban Decay Ultra Definition Powder Foundation and the Urban Decay Naked Concealer. Now, I was really excited when both these products came out because I'm in love with the liquid foundation by the Naked line. I discovered this foundation last summer and I really enjoyed the coverage and the wear of it and the color, because I sometimes I have a hard time finding the right shade for me in certain foundation lines, but for some reason I just have a really perfect match in this line. I have this in 5.0, which is my summer shade, and for the spring and winter I'm a 4.0, just so that you guys know, in case you're wondering what color I am. Now I'm going to talk about each product individually first, and then I will give you guys my overall thoughts about it at the end. So the first thing I want to talk about is this concealer. I got mine in the shade Light Neutral. This is I'll just read a little bit here. This covers imperfections without looking covered up. Weightless high-tech formula provides buildable, even coverage with an invisible naked skin and never settles into fine lines. Okay, so it's going to be really interesting to see how people are actually going to compare this to the NARS Radiant Concealer, because I've tried that and I was not a fan of it. Now, I did use that underneath my eyes and I did find that it did crease, and that's why I returned it. But I've heard that most people actually like it to spot conceal. They like the thickness of it and they like the coverage of that concealer. Now, the Naked Skin is a weightless concealer. It definitely is weightless. I don't feel it on my skin. When I was in Sephora, I actually took the Radiant NARS concealer and this, and I wanted to see the difference in it, and the one by NARS is a little bit thicker, but I like this one a little bit better because it's still a medium coverage, but it's buildable to the point where it doesn't look cakey on. So for that fact, I do like this concealer a little bit better than the NARS one. I did get the third lightest shade in the line, which is more like my perfect match. It does brighten a little bit, but not as much as I would like it to. So I do plan on going back and actually picking up the second lightest shade in the line, just to, if I do want to change it up and have that brightness underneath the eyes, and I have that option. But I still really like this color. It's good to spot conceal too, so that's why I actually like it, and that's why I'm keeping it, so that I can, if I do have some problem areas, I can go over it with this shade and it works. So with that being said, I think it's a great concealer. I didn't really I noticed maybe a little bit of creasing underneath the eyes, but I do have some fine lines, and I just feel like with most concealers, towards the end of the day, I will notice a little bit of creasing. So I always have that problem with any concealer, but I still think it does a really good job. What I like to do is actually put it on and set it right away underneath my eyes, especially. I just want to go in and set it, and I do find that that works a little bit better for me. But you guys, I really like this concealer. I think it does an excellent job of concealing. You can go over it and it doesn't look cakey, so I really like it so far. If you guys have any other questions about this concealer, please leave them in the comments down below, just in case I forgot anything that I wanted to mention about it. Moving on to the powder foundation. This is a buildable coverage with a luminous demi-matte naked finish. I totally have to agree with that term. It definitely leaves my skin looking luminous, but still have that demi-matte finish. And I also feel like it almost has the same finish as the liquid. So I think it's just basically going to determine whether you like a liquid foundation or a powder foundation. So I really like the packaging. I got mine in the color Medium Neutral. Now, how they did their colors was, the liquid foundation, they go by like points, like 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and so on. And the shade that I got, Medium Neutral, was between a 4.5 to a 5.5. So when you go into Sephora, they do have them kind of sorted out that way. And then there was another one that said shade closest to 6.0. So that's how they kind of determine your color. Because I'm a 5.0 in my foundation, I went with the 4.5 to 5.5, and the color seems to work really, really good. So I will be keeping the shade. And I just wanted to let you guys know that if you are a 5.0, then you'll be okay with the with the medium neutral. And this was actually a really popular color when I went. They only had one left and the rest were kind of still all there. So I believe this is going to be a popular shade. So I wanted to test this foundation out on its own and as a setting powder. So I do have a demonstration of me applying this powder on its own first. So I did go in with the Naked Concealer and just put it underneath my eyes wherever I wanted to spot conceal. Then I went in with the powder foundation and used my IT Cosmetics this is like a foundation brush or like a powder foundation on, and I did one layer. It smoothed out really nicely. It went on really nice and it did a really good job of evening out my skin tone, and I could have left it as just one layer and I would have been satisfied, but I wanted to see how this would be if I were to build it up. So then I went in with a second layer and it still looked really nice. It didn't look cakey. You can still see my skin peeking through, which I personally like more of the skin look, where I don't like to see too much like foundation on my skin. I just prefer it. I prefer my skin just to kind of peek through just a little bit because it looks a little bit more natural. So as a powder foundation, I was totally impressed. I feel like the finish is just as good as the liquid version. So if you're a fan of the liquid foundation, then you will be a fan of the powder foundation for sure. Now today I used the liquid foundation and I added this on top as a setting powder, and it looks just so flawless, you guys. It doesn't look cakey at all. My skin just looks like skin still. Like, it's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful finish and I absolutely love it. Now my final thoughts on the product. I'm really happy that Urban Decay came out with this, and if you're a fan of the Naked line in general, then you will be a fan of the powder and the concealer. As for the powder and the liquid, I don't think you need both. So like I said, it's going to determine whether you like a liquid or a powder. If you're looking for a setting powder to try out, I highly recommend this one because it's very lightweight and it will never look cakey on you. So the concealer, I'm just really interested in what people are going to say about it, because everybody loves the NARS Luminous Concealer and I just prefer this one a lot better. So those are my thoughts, guys. If you guys want to see this look that I'm wearing today, I do have a tutorial that is coming up within the next day or so, so be on the lookout for that. Don't forget to like this video. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.